Hello, welcome or welcome back to Heretic Owl Tarot. My name is Liz. I will be guiding you on this journey. I just wanted to introduce the tarot deck that we're going to use today, and also the, I guess we can call it an oracle deck that we're going to use. I don't really have anything else to say other than, of course, thank you so much to those who are participating in the 333 readings. I am still offering those. The details of that is in the description. I think they're so cool. Like every single one that I have done, like the cards that have come out have just like so perfectly gone together. I don't know. It's awesome. But thank you so much to those of you who have participated in that. And I hope you're all, holding up okay. I know we have an eclipse this week on the 3rd, which is actually tomorrow, March 3rd. It's literally happening right on top of my 3rd house Virgo moon. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope these messages reach near and far, I mean, I always do, but maybe I have a little bit of an oomph from that. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, the tarot deck that we are going to use. Ooh, and this is actually the first little tarot bag that I got from, you would think that I would actually have it like pulled up. Okay, rude. I don't know. I don't have it in front of me. I'll put it in the description though. The little tarot bags. They're so cute. I have like 3 of them so far. But anyway, we're going to be using Pastel Dreams for the tarot deck. And then I have Mudra's deck that we're going to be using for the Oracle. I don't know, I pulled one of these cards for me this last week, and it was like so perfect for, and I shuffled the same way that I always do until a card came out, and it was so perfect for what was like on my mind, and the hardest part is just remembering to do it, like a couple times. But there's, of course, the mudra on one side, and then on the other side is information about that. So I'll read that to you, and I'll also include a screenshot of it for a couple seconds in the video, just in case you want to also take a screenshot or dude, whatever. Okay, let's get into the readings. Great. So this is the reading for the 3/6 human design profile, the martyr role model. If you don't know your profile, there is a link in the description for you to get your human design body graph, and your profile will be listed on there. Let's get 3 cards. We have the Knight of Cups. 2 more cards. We have the 9 of Cups. Beautiful. 1 more. Page of Swords. And then the 4 of Swords at the bottom of the deck. And let's get your Mudra card out. And I've been reading these at the end of the reading because it's kind of cool, like how the message like correlates to what we talk about. So anyway, longing, welcome your yearning. And it looks like it's like this. I love the little like a spiral there. It reminds me of that, like, have you seen the Don't Spiral Evolve? And on the Don't Spiral, it's just like a 2D looking spiral, and then the Evolve one is like looking at a spiral from the side, which is kind of like this. I don't know, it reminds me of that. You know what I find interesting is that this Knight of Cups is moving towards the left. And the left side of the card is the past. The right side of the card is the future. And it's interesting that the Nine of Cups, they're looking towards the right. Very interesting. Like that was like the first thing I noticed when the Nine of Cups came out is how that is, you know? I mean, what are the odds? But you know, the Nine of Cups is usually, it's an emotional offer. It's also, you know, expressing your emotions. It's being led by your heart. It's, you know, again, like being guided by how it is you want to feel or how you are even currently feeling. This is usually, and I mean, you know, it looks like it in this card too, but this is usually like the knight in shining armor of the tarot. Like they come in, you know, to save the day or you know, rescue like the damsel in distress or whatever, you know. It's a very like romanticized card, but it's like literally moving towards the past. And it's moving away from the Nine of Cups. I would just be aware of offers that may feel good, may like be presented in a certain, you know, package or context, and really allow it to go through your strategy and authority, and really pay attention to that. Because I also like I halfway wonder if like this Knight of Cups is like an offer that maybe you would have wanted in the past. However that is, you know, I mean, it could be, you know, in a romantic sense, it can be in some sort of connection. It can also, you know, be a job. It could be an apology. It could also even just be, again, you know, like the motivations, or it's almost like too, like having like a fairy tale, romanticized, you know, ideal of something. And, you know, like I said, like it's heading in the direction of the past, even if we take, you know, that element out of the reading, they're still like moving away from the Nine of Cups. And the Nine of Cups is like their focus or their attention is on the Page of Swords, who is facing the future. I really do wonder if, you know, whatever this Knight of Cups ends up being, whether it's already something that's manifested or it's coming in, whatever it is, it could be that, you know, it would just kind of take you back, or, you know, it's like you would be heading in the opposite direction of the way that you want to feel or the way that you want to head in. But it's like, this is what I've always wanted, or this is what, you know, this is what I've been, you know, waiting for, or it really is so, it really is so interesting that like every time I look at it, it almost just kind of seems like a peacock to me. And they're just like showing their feathers. But it's like, what is the substance? Like, what's behind those feathers? The Nine of Cups is wish fulfillment. You know, it's individual fulfillment as well. Nines are individual completion. So, you know, it's reaching a point that you hoped for, where you personally feel purposeful, you feel fulfilled. it's also being able to recognize like what that is for you. You know, it's recognizing that I feel fulfilled when I'm interacting in this way, or you know, my life has this certain routine or like this certain flow to it. It's also recognizing how you recharge, like how do your cups get filled. You know, it's getting to a point. It almost kind of feels like there's something that shifted between this Knight of Cups and this Nine of Cups, which it's interesting too that they're kind of close. Like if Knight of Cups and Nine of Cups is almost kind of like a tongue twister type of thing, you know, like say that 5 times really fast. I also wonder too, like if you are making this decision here, that like maybe your fairy tale has changed. Maybe, you know, the knight in shining armor, whatever that is, right? I mean, it could be a person, it could be an opportunity, it could be, you know, a life that you are cultivating, like whatever that is for you, right? Like it could be changing in some capacity. You know, the court cards are when we put the energy of the suit into practice, right? Like we start to work with it, we start playing with it, we have this curiosity with the page. The Knight of Cups is when we are starting to again, like actually apply it to our lives, to our relationships, to, you know, what we're doing. Queens are when we embody the energy of the suit, right? Like we learn to work with it, we learn to master it within ourselves. And then the king is when we can share it with other people, and just, you know, kind of be an authority figure or a role model for other people. I almost kind of feel too like the knight and the queen could be like somewhere in the roof, like for the sixth line. I feel like the knight would kind of be more at the beginning of, you know, being up on the roof. Maybe when you're in that transition period between like around your Saturn return. Queens are, you know, again, just like when you are kind of more, I don't know if officially is the right word, but when you're more like when you recognize that you are quote unquote on the roof. Not to mention too, like, you know, I don't with that third line, I don't think like you ever get like an actual break of just being up on the roof, right? Like I think that third line kind of like you have a ladder and you go like up and down. Because the third line, it's like you need to get your hands dirty. You know, like you have to try things to see if they work. You can't be told, right? You can't just observe. Like you have to try it for yourself. But it's like, you know, you come down, you do the thing, and then you're like, okay, back up on the roof for, you know, however long, unpacking, figuring it out. So that could even be like Knight of Cups energy as well. But yeah, it's like, you know, there's something shifting here in what you want, or even to like how something is presented to you, how you are approaching your like expression of your emotions, how you're offering like even your time, your energy, because, you know, I mean, that has everything to do with our emotional capacity as well. And it would also, like, it would have something to do here with how you want to feel. And this Page of Swords, again, like with pages, they are taking the ace of the element, swords, which is our thoughts, ideas, the perception of our realities. It's ego. Our egos are created by the stories that we attach to experiences, and that becomes our belief systems. It's conditioning. And the Page of Swords, like they're very open-minded. There is like a perspective shift, or like new ideas here. There's a curiosity as well. But for me, like, pages aren't going to get hung up on one thing. Like, they're just out there trying stuff. They're allowing their beliefs or their perspectives to change as they receive more information. This is, intellect, mindset, knowledge, learning, communication too, obviously, like how you're communicating those things. But it's like allowing your mind to remain curious and almost even like pliable too. Because it's kind of like what is the mindset that is going to support this emotional environment that I'm cultivating, or even like emotional maturity too. Discipline, again, empathy, intuition. And not to mention, it's like, the mind and body connection, right? Because one has a tendency to influence the other, and, of course, vice versa. So it's even like working on aligning those things. And again, it's interesting that the Knight of Cups is facing the left, the Page of Swords is facing the right, and then we have this Nine of Cups in the middle, which is what is your ideal, I want to say, life, right? It's like how do you want your life to feel on a daily basis? How do you want to feel, like on a daily basis? Like, where, again, like how are your cups being filled? How are you filling your own cups? How are you recharging? How are you cleansing yourself too, of shit that's not yours? It's very much like the things that don't feel good are not going to make it into these cups. I also halfway wonder if she's blushing. Doesn't it kind of look like it, like a little bit? I don't know. I'm still getting this like feeling from this Knight of Cups that they're just like cocky. And it's almost like for show. And maybe, like for a time or however long, it's like looking a certain way, presenting a certain way, feeling a certain, or even like expressing your emotions a certain way, like showing up, putting a happy face on, or whatever. Maybe that has been how you've been operating. And, swords also have to do with truth. I feel like the birds outside just got like a lot louder too. I don't know. But like all of a sudden, when I stopped talking for a second, I'm like, oh my gosh, they're really loud. They've been going like this whole time, but yeah, like it really does feel like expressing your truth, and also like getting clear on what that is. What is true for you? We think we know, but then when you start asking yourself that, you're like, oh, do I actually know? Like, what's no longer working? What is no longer, filling my cup? We have the Four of Swords, which is rest. meditation, the Eight of Wands, and then the Page of Wands. Yeah, see, it's like this Knight of Cups. It's just kind of like, I just heard boring. This isn't even like the boring card. I mean, I feel like that would be more of like the Four of Cups, but it's just, it like literally puts you to sleep. Or it can also be the thing that, like, if you feel stagnant or like things haven't been moving, which is interesting because we have the Eight of Wands here on the Nine of Cups, which I don't know why I'm holding it, but if you feel, you know, like things have been stagnant, it's because whatever this Knight of Cups energy is for you, it could be like, you know, waiting for a specific thing to show up, and even waiting for it to show up in a specific package. I know I said kind of before about like if something is presented to you, you know, like it's kind of like the package that it's presented in might just kind of not be, you know, on the up and up, or it's just like a pretty package, but it's not an actual like great opportunity. But this can also be expecting it to show up like in some romanticized, you know, kind of way. And this almost kind of seems like Sleeping Beauty, right? It's like waiting for, literally, dude, waiting for the prince to come find you, you know, and kiss you to wake you up. You know, like whether that is like a real thing where you're like, you know, kind of waiting for the perfect partner match or whatever. Or if it's like, you know, just kind of waiting for something to like fall into your lap or knock on your door, which I get because same. I just like, how hard is it for something to just knock on my door, or for, you know, like the perfect job to just like call me, you know, like why do I have to apply? Why do I have to be out there looking for it? You know, like it's like that kind of energy. And then with the Nine of Cups and the Eight of Wands, like this is the action or the movement forward that is not happening between the Knight of Cups and the Four of Swords. So it really is, it's like focusing on, again, you know, like your wish fulfillment, your desires being met. And it's meeting those yourself though. Because again, like the nines are individual completion. This is you getting yourself to a point of feeling fulfilled. It's also even knowing what that is for yourself. And it's like as soon as, or as you are doing that, things start moving forward for you. This is like literally the action card. This is literally the inaction card. And then we have the Page of Wands, which again, it's funny that there's two pages here. The page that has a curiosity, again, you know, keeping an open mind, allowing themselves to change their mind the more information that they get. And then we have the Page of Wands, who is, you know, again, curious, but they're like doing things for the fun of it. They're doing things just to do them, just to try them. And again, like not attaching to an outcome, not attaching to, oh, it didn't work, or oh, it did work, or oh, this is the thing, or it's literally just like whatever it is that interests you or sparks an interest in you, that is fun, that is playful, that again, like is adventurous, or that you have a curiosity about, do it. And then at the bottom of the deck, now we have the Eight of Cups, which is moving away from some, this is like the direction. This is also like knowing that something has, you know, served its purpose. And, you know, the energy has been used for it. And it's making an emotional, intentional decision to move forward. And actually, the Eight of Cups is moving towards the Nine of Cups, because they recognize that their purpose or their fulfillment is not in these Eight of Cups. So they're making the decision to move towards something that does feel better. I love this. Oh, let's read Longing. Welcome your yearning. If you want to take a picture of that. This is the Nirvan Mudra. Can you say that okay? Okay. The spiral mudra strengthens the vegetative nervous system and activates the production of feel-good hormones. The wrists are closed. Oh, okay, I didn't do that. The wrists are crossed over. Okay, what? All of a sudden I can't speak. The wrists are crossed over and round each other. The little finger, ring finger, and middle fingers are interlocked. See yourself sitting on a spiral which extends deep into the ground below you and up into the infinity of the sky. If you let yourself slide down it, life seems to be without sense or meaning. So instead, you move up the spiral, knowing that there are other worlds, powers, and secrets beyond that which you can see. You yield up your longing and yourself to these higher powers and sing, beyond the beyond, beyond the furthest limits, I find light and bliss. Beautiful. Sorry, I kind of like jacked that up, but yeah, I didn't see that the arms were crossed here. Beautiful. And I feel like that even like wraps up this reading really well too. So I'm going to leave it there. Thank you so much for allowing me to read your cards. I will talk to you soon. Bye.